The core value at Canyon Lake is equity, and that's equity in access, equity in representation, and equity in opportunities.
Equity is giving a learner what they need when they need it, and through the approach of personalized learning, we're able to do that.
It helps us learn with our pace instead of like we used to do it to where we had to move on even if we weren't ready, but now we get to stick with something that we might need more help with or less help with.
I like that you get to do a test before you start doing math, so you're not put on something that's too easy or too hard for you.
I can take my time and not have to be with everyone else, and I can stay on my level of learning as much as I need to.
No matter where they're starting, if they work hard, they're going to progress. They're not just going to be stuck endlessly.
When kids are able to work in their zone of proximal development, they're doing things that are hard, but they're doing things that are attainable. And so they're regularly experiencing what it feels like to succeed. And that benefits them in the short term, but that also changes their outlook on school in the long term.
I feel proud of myself when I pass something. It makes me feel good. And when I pass something, it makes me feel super, super good.
I feel awesome because that means I get to go work with another teacher and they teach different ways, so it's super fun to learn how all the teachers do math.
In all my experience teaching, this is by far the most engaged I've seen learners. And even the motivation, the way kids talk about their movement in math and how they're able to make progress and when they've moved skills, they just really have a sense of ownership and a sense of pride with it.
This year I actually got to get to middle school math, and because of the way that we do math now, so I can actually achieve more goals, because before we did this, we could only learn what was required.
Kids say, oh, I'm in so-and-so's teacher's class for LCT, and then so that's where I'm going next, so I work extra hard to get to where my friends are.
I want good grades, and I want to be able to get to a point where I'm ready and understand everything and I'd like to be able to talk with my friends about how some days if I'm struggling, or I might be with that same class with you tomorrow, so that's going to be really exciting.
The biggest change I've seen in learners is their ability to set goals. They take a super sense of ownership in their learning, so they understand that what they accomplish is up to them.
If you're a younger kid and you need help with an older kid, sometimes the older kid might know more things than you, so then you can kind of ask them to help you read the question, or even I'll help you a little bit with the question.
A lot of student interest groups are based around kind of like a project-based learning format where they are solving a real-world problem. So a staff member or a teacher might pose a problem, and then small groups will attempt to solve that problem. You got to think outside the box. The problems that teachers pose require lots of thinking and lots of collaboration.
We get to learn about things that we normally don't get to do, and we get to work with things that we usually can't because we don't have enough time.
My favorite one is when I learned about the astronaut, what happened to the astronaut, Scott Kelly.
Engagement is extremely high. In the student interest groups that I have taught, kids are so excited. They come in the door and they're like, what are we building today? Or they're just excited to maybe experience a different environment.
I like that there could be some other people that's in the SIGs that you can probably meet and probably be friends with them. You just get the choice to do whatever you want to do, and you're not basically forced to do something, and sometimes you don't get into your favorite SIG, but then you find out that you actually like something that you didn't know.
When I bring out the robots or different activities, they just are so excited to be there and they want to be in those classes. They're bummed if something happens and we can't, or on a showcase day, they're like, oh, but I really, really wanted to go to my class today. So I think that's the best part of it, is just seeing how happy the students are.